What is going on, YouTube? And welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks, for another night of hot topics and social commentary. I hope you guys are seeing and hearing me okay. We were having a little bit of issues, technical issues in the background. That's why we were a couple minutes late getting on. And I won't be able to get to the comments until Jennifer gets back because Jennifer was having some sound issues as well. So I hope that you guys can bear with us as we try to figure this stuff out. But thank y'all so much for being here. While we're waiting, a couple things I want you guys to do before we get started. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, press that big red subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. So go ahead and mash that thing if you haven't gone ahead and mashed it. Also, be sure to give us a thumbs up on this video. Let us know you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out here on JoJo Speaks. Be sure to leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts on the topics that we're discussing on tonight's show. Also, be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all of your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody out here in these streets that JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets, or let them know that JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. Once again, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. So I want to start out really quickly concerning the wildfires that are happening in California right now. It is so devastating to see all the things that are going on. I see Dustin in the comments. Hey, Dustin, thank you so much for being here. Okay, you said you can hear me and see me fine. All right, thank you so much, Dustin, for letting me know. What's going on in California with these wildfires is so devastating, and it's so sad to see everyone who has been affected by these wildfires that are happening out here in California. And my prayers and thoughts go out to everyone who has been affected by these wildfires. To me, it seems like these wildfires are being started manually or being started as a result of arson. And it's just sad to see. And I want to give a shout out to, I won't say my favorite rapper, but the sexiest rapper in the game to me, the game. He volunteered with the firefighters over the past couple of days and took pictures with them. And, you know, he's doing his part to help his community out. It's so amazing to see that. Also, Beyonce has donated $2.5 million for California wildfire relief. And so shout out to Beyonce for using her resources to help those who are in need. We're not only we here, us regular folk are seeing the effects that it has had on the celebrities whose houses have been damaged. We know Keisha Cole's house has been damaged. Paris Hilton, Janae Aiko, her house was damaged as well, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And so it's just extremely sad to see. But I also want to point out the fact that these people are blaming the folks that are in charge, such as the mayor, as well as the governor, Newsom, for not doing enough. And I don't know if there would be, I don't know if there's like a range of things that people are looking for these people to do. Like, what else can they do to please all of those who have been affected? And it's just sad to see that, you know, it seems like there's nothing that Gavin Newsom or the mayor or anyone for that matter who's in a position of leadership can do to help these people out here. I know that Joe Biden has recently stated that he will be giving out, I believe it was he's giving out $770 to all those who are affected by the wildfires. You know, to me, when I first saw that figure, I thought, oh, that's not nearly enough, but it's better than nothing. So I'm glad that he's at least offering something to those who are being affected by these wildfires. But it's just a terrible thing. And for these wildfires to happen at a time like this, where, there's no heat wave or anything of that nature that is causing these fires to happen. And so it's just terrible to see. I see Jennifer has come in. What's going on, Chirisita? Okay, I can't, we can't hear Jennifer, but yeah, no, I can't hear you at all. I don't know what's going on, but you know, the devil is busy. He is busy, honey, trying to make us not be able to speak to the people. But that's okay. We'll move forward. But I'm so happy for the game and Beyonce. Using their resources to help those out, and it would be interesting to see if other people would start reaching out and helping out as well. I'm surprised that there hasn't been more outreach. Me personally, I'm just surprised that there hasn't been more outreach from celebrities, especially those who are affected by the wildfires themselves, to try to help others to be able to recover from these terrible wildfires that are going on. But I hope that everyone who has been affected by it is able to recover, fully recover everything that they have lost with these wildfires. Another case that, oh, well, not another case, but another story that I wanted to speak on was that a Texas man has been arrested and charged for allegedly stalking Caitlin Clark after sending threatening and sexually violent messages. I feel so bad for these celebrities who have to deal with these people who are just plain crazy out here. Apparently, anyone who would do things like this, in my mind, is clearly not in the right state of mind, or is not in great mental health. That would make no sense to me of someone who knows better doing these types of things. And so, we as regular people, we like to stay in our place. Yes, we'll go to concerts to see our favorite artists and things of that nature, but we keep them at arm's length. Even if we, get a meet and greet pass. Unfortunately, I've never been able to participate in a meet and greet, but I would love to be at a meet and greet. I don't know exactly how I would react to seeing my favorite entertainer. Like, let's say I went to a Janet Jackson meet and greet. Like, I would probably be on the floor if I ever saw Janet Jackson in person, and I would probably not be able to contain myself if she were in my presence. But I would be able, but I would have to tell her how much I love her. I love her. I love her artistry. How much I love The Velvet Rope. That was the first Janet Jackson album that I ever bought. How much I Get Lonely is probably my favorite R&B song of all time, because it's just perfection to me, especially the remix with Blackstreet. But these people out here who, literally are not in their right mind, I think we need more regulations for mental health in general. It's just sad to me that and I can imagine myself not being in my right state of mind. And once again, for those of you guys who are in the comments, I'm sorry that I'm not reading your comments. I don't necessarily have access to the comments to be able to pull them up and read them myself, and I do apologize about that. But that's just the limitations that I'm working with. But I hope you guys stick with me as I keep going. But yeah, so the man who was charged for stalking, he has made his first court appearance. So not exactly sure where that's going to go. But I hope I hope Caitlin gets the justice that she deserves. And I'm so glad that he did not personally see her. I'm glad that he did not get into her space of any sort or kind, or whatever the case might be. And so I'm so glad that Caitlin Clark is still safe. I'm so glad about that. I have to give a shout out to the to three sororities that celebrated their Founders Day. Alpha Kappa Alpha celebrated Founders Day. Delta Sigma Theta celebrated Founders Day, and Zeta Phi Beta celebrated Founders Day this week. And so, shout out to all of those sororities who are celebrating their Founders Day. I saw Sunny Hostin wearing her 1908 sweatshirt on The View earlier this week. And so she was obviously celebrating Founders Day for her sorority as well. And I didn't even know that she was an AKA, but it doesn't surprise me. I hear Jennifer or I hear something in the background with Jennifer. Jennifer, you there?
I'm here.
Awesome. I'm so glad that you're able to make it. I don't know what's going on over there, but it is okay.
Child,
We are
I don't
here.
know either. And it took me a little bit too long to realize, oh my gosh, I have a cellular phone device that I can join with.
You
So
do.
and it's right here. It's right here. And I just gave Tyrone the computers to take care of. And I just thought I came up in here, but can I quickly give you the comments?
Please do. Please do.
All
Please
right.
do.
As you already saw, Dustin is here. Welcome. God bless
Yes.
you. Bianca is here. Make sure to say happy Thursday to everyone.
Hey,
Hi,
Bianca.
Bianca. Hey, Robin says, doing enough. What does that mean?
Right, exactly. Talking about the wildfires, people are complaining that Governor Gavin Newsom and the mayor aren't doing enough to, help with the relief of these wildfires. It's like, what do you expect them to do? Like, what do you expect them to do? Governor Newsom was literally out there, like, doing an interview in front of a house that was on fire. Like, what else can he do? You know?
I personally agree. Next, hold on. Okay, that was it. Okay. And Robin says, they aren't firefighters. They can't fight Mother Nature. Well, then, those Santa
Okay.
Ana wins.
Okay.
Yeah. Personally, I have seen like videos of all those sparks just flying every which way, and I'm like, no wonder. Whew, child, it's like though the water is sparse out there, Jonathan. A part of
Hmm.
me feels like maybe we do need to take time to water our houses every once in a while so it won't spontaneously catch on fire. Like it's really crazy.
Right. I was watching Natalie Love earlier this week, and she said
Hmm.
something about putting water on her roof because people were doing fireworks. And I had heard of that before, but I didn't know that people did that on a regular basis. But if you want to, protect your house, girl, do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, we've never lived in that dry of an environment to have
Gotcha.
to. But they are dry, dry. The rain. I'm not saying it doesn't rain, but it don't rain. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Next, Robin says for a normal house fire, they can spend they can send 3 to 4 fire trucks. There isn't enough equipment in the entire state to combat the multitude of simultaneous, um, yeah, I said that right, fires.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to say that because I am not an AKA, but Robin certainly is an AKA because she
Yes.
is an
Yes, Robin. I
AKA.
love it. Do your thing, girl. I love me an AKA.
Okay.
Quick story. I wanted my
Yeah.
best friend to be an AKA, but it didn't match her personality. She ended up being a Gamma Rho, which I wasn't disappointed at, but I thought she just looked like an AKA to me. So, but it is what it is. But I have a special place in my heart for AKAs personally. No shade to any other sororities in the Divine Nine at all.
Absolutely. Robin says, this year I celebrate 35 years in the pink and green.
Yeah! Shout out to Robin.
Shouts out. All right, you can go about your day there.
And also, speaking of those who are talking about people in positions of leadership, Khloe Kardashian actually said that the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, is a joke when Karen Bass was talking about the water supply and things of that nature. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just what do you expect them to do? I don't think there's anything that these people in leadership can do
Yeah.
to make these people happy. And that's why I feel bad for presidents, because presidents always get the short end of the stick when it comes to
And they
people
have to have the
feeling
answers.
they have to have the answers. And it's crazy to me. It is really crazy to me. But
And Jonathan, did
mhm,
you hear about how the people of God went in on Chloe? And, like, girl,
okay.
what are you doing? Did you give
What
you
are you doing?
okay, like what are you doing?
Exactly.
Are you giving clothes directly out of your closet like some of these actresses are? Or what are you doing? Are you giving millions of dollars like
Okay.
some of these people are? Like come on, like where's your foundation? What are you it's like so difficult to see people of privilege complain about what is or isn't being done. And I do believe she was under the impression that she had some kind of safety because, they're all being affected and stuff like that. But no, girl, what are
Right.
you doing?
Right. And apparently, Kim Kardashian was advocating for incarcerated firefighters to receive higher pay. So apparently, they're having prisoners or people who are in jail who are helping out with these efforts to take out these fires, which to me indicates that there is not enough resources in the fire department to be able, as you said a little bit earlier, Jennifer, or someone said in the comments that there are not enough fire trucks. Robin said that a little bit
Hmm.
earlier to be able to take care of this. And I don't know about paying. Well, I guess yeah, they are risking their lives, and so if they're going to risk their lives, I think it is justified that they get more than 20 cents for going out there to fight these wildfires. But it is what it is. Shout out to Kim Kardashian for
Yeah.
speaking up for the incarcerated inmates.
Robin says Kylie can kick rocks and she lives in Calabasas. And also, Robin also says most people don't know that Los Angeles County isn't just the city in LA. There are several cities in that county.
Right. Yeah.
She also says there's about to there's about to allow formerly incarcerated who served as firefighters, okay, to be
Okay.
allowed to join
Gotcha.
the department. That is very nice.
That is nice. That is nice. And also, speaking of Beyonce, who once again donated 2.5 million to help out with the relief, Beyonce has postponed her announcement. I don't believe that she's given us a new date for the announcement, but she's postponed the announcements due to the wildfires that are going on in California. So I know that the B stands and Jennifer are still waiting with bated breath. Ashley Miller on Instagram said, after the postponement, she really thinks it's going to be a tour, and the announcement was made with the Cowboy Carter, like
Font.
yes, yes. So that's what makes me think that it's a Cowboy Carter tour. But again, I at the same time, it wouldn't make sense to me for her to have a Cowboy Carter tour. Um, Me personally, I wouldn't think that Beyonce would make a tour out for a country album, but it is what it is. It is what
Well,
it
it won't just be,
is. Yeah.
that, because that's something I'd still go to. Like the songs ain't bad, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And also, people are speculating that it is yet a concert because um, people are seeing some kind of leaks of a show somewhere in Chicago in September. Um, and that's a leak. We don't know how you know correct that is,
Hmm.
but all we can do is just be patient and hear the confirmation from Miss B herself.
Yes.
Let's see. Robin says the announcement will come on the date with the number of four in it. I believe it.
Okay.
Um, Now, I heard somebody say it would have been really great for it to happen on Martin Luther King Day, the same
Ooh.
day, to take some shine away from a certain somebody.
Okay.
Okay. And Bianca put this comment up here. She says, if you're enjoying this live and you want to support the host, hit this link, y'all. It's the Cash App, which is $ Jonathan Lee '07.
Wonderful. Speaking of Martin Luther King Day being the same day as the inauguration, Carrie Underwood has been asked to perform at the inauguration, and she released a statement regarding her upcoming performance stating, I love our country, and I'm honored that I've been asked to sing at the inauguration. Now, I'm a big fan of Carrie Underwood. I won't say that I won't say I can't say that I'm a big fan, but I'm a fan of her singing voice. I was rooting for her during American Idol. I love Before He Cheats. I love Jesus Take the Wheel. I love her voice. I think she's an excellent singer. And I don't want to say that her agreeing to perform means that she is a Trump supporter, but it would not surprise me if she were a Trump supporter. However, that doesn't make me think less of her necessarily. However, I am a little disappointed. I know that sounds a little bit all over the place, but I think it's because I do enjoy her so much that I don't want to think of her as this Trump supporter. I don't want to think of her as that. But of course, with her performing at the inauguration and accepting the invitation to perform at the inauguration leads us to believe that she is a supporter of Trump. Because if she were not a
Hmm.
supporter of Trump, because when it comes to Trump, either you're for him or you're against him. It's one or the other, and that's how it is in politics in general. Either you like somebody or you don't, and that's period, point blank.
Well, with Trump, I think, but the reason why there isn't any give room or in between is because of how egregious his the things that he's done has been, and of course, being a felon, being accused and convicted of so many things, and also Rascal Flats will be there as well as Gavin DeGraw. So
Wow.
I don't know. I feel like some of these people either they truly enjoy Trump,
Mhm.
or they're just going along to get along to get a check,
Yeah, yeah.
and they need to talk to Chrisette Michelle.
Okay, and Jennifer Holliday, because she was
Yeah,
invited to perform at the inauguration, but when she got the backlash after the announcement was made, she pulled back her, her exception of the invitation, because she knew that it would not be good, but she accepted it more than likely for the check, and it's like I can't blame you if you're getting your money, I really can't, but at the same time, at what cost? You know what I'm saying? It's
yeah.
big. It's bigger than just a check in a lot of people's minds and in a lot of people's hearts. It's bigger than just a check.
Robin wants to make sure you know that and that she's heard when she says, "She period is period a period Trump period supporter exclamation mark."
All right. It does not surprise me, Robin. Thank you so much for that information. Of course, disappointing to me. But people can support whoever they want to support. I can't make her think any differently than she already does. But shout out to Carrie Underwood getting her money. Wendy Williams made an appearance or a phone call to the Breakfast Club earlier this week.
Ooh, child.
And she sounded like Wendy Williams to me. People have claimed that she's incapacitated, and to
Yeah.
be honest, it would not surprise me if she were kind of incapacitated. I don't know what to believe, but this interview made me believe that she is lucid and that she is okay. It sounds like she
At least
is.
right now.
Right now, exactly. She said that she's not surprised about what is happening with Diddy. She's not happy with her conservatorship, of course. She's saying that they can move her anywhere that they want to at any time that they want to. They can take her phone anytime that they want to. She was crying during portions of the interview. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that Charlamagne the God is on Wendy's side. Like, I cannot tell you how happy
Absolutely.
I am that he is riding for Wendy the way that he is, because when he sees something is going wrong with someone that he loves, he rides for them. And I appreciate that. I really, really do, because he understands that Wendy put him on the map, period, point blank. I mean, there would be no Charlamagne the God if it were not for Wendy Williams. And so I'm just happy that he allowed her to speak her truth, and I thought that it gave her a great opportunity to plead her case as far as where she is health wise. I will say that anytime that I've seen her, in pictures or video, her eyes are all bugged out, and that's what scares me the most about her. I don't know what that is about. I don't know what is the
Well,
cause of
that
that.
started that started before she even was off the show. Jonathan, that Graves' disease, I believe that's the disease. Don't
Okay,
quote me on it, but this the same kind of disease I believe that Missy Elliott has.
okay,
That started before she was off the show. But one thing that I want to make sure I say is I don't know if you know, but there was a lot of discourse between Charlemagne and Wendy for a while.
oh yes,
Um,
I do know that.
and I'm starting to believe that I believe that discourse was upheld for her ex-husband. And I
Okay.
feel like now that he's out the way, they're able to connect again. Jonathan, it did my soul so good to hear her voice and the way that she was talking, and
Right.
like how DJ Envy saying she still got it. And now I could
Yes,
that's what I kept on saying. Like she just sound like herself.
she
And
does.
it's like, I'm not saying she's my favorite woman on this earth, but it really made me feel like nostalgic of the days because I was actually listening to recordings of her radio show down in South Carolina because, of course, we weren't hearing her from, up in New York. But
Right.
I was
Yeah. On the
listening
radio.
to yeah, I was listening to, old recordings, and it's like her show was amazing.
It was.
And her, on the TV show, look, I came for the hot topics and heard her opinion, though I didn't, always go with what she said.
Right.
She always knew how to deliver it. That's
Yes.
always been in her. So
Absolutely.
whether I agree with it or not, I still found it funny. So,
Yeah, I can't say
um,
that I
yeah.
agree with everything that Wendy has said in the past. She said some very controversial stuff in the past. So I can't agree with everything that she has said, but I still love her, not only for her support of the LGBTQIA plus community that she has almost always had, to my knowledge.
And been
She's all
out with it too.
out with it too. There's a There's a compilation on YouTube of her saying "How you doing?" and her hearing her gay guest say "How you doing?" to her and her reaction to it. It's like she's family. You know what I'm saying? She's one of us. You
Hmm.
know, and that's why we love her because she's Auntie Wendy for us. And so that's one of the main reasons why I love her so much. And anyone who has support for the LGBTQIA plus community is okay in my books for sure.
Absolutely. Robin says Graves' disease. Thank you for confirming. But yeah, the Graves' disease. She announced that on the show, so that's what her eyes looks like that.
Gotcha.
Robin says Charlemagne said that Kev came between him and Wendy, as I thought. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Makes
I know I
sense.
wasn't able to hear the whole interview, but I personally hope that this is the first of many phone calls. Because here's the thing, I totally believe that she still has more things to say due to
Absolutely.
she's just steeped in experiences. She's seen so much stuff. And I feel like now is a great time for her to just get it out, get it all out, maybe do another book. I don't know, but I love how she was one of the first really talking about Diddy and saying things and even threatened by the
Hmm.
man. And it's
Yeah.
like, yo, ever since I heard that story about Total, they were sent
Okay.
over there to beat her up.
Okay.
I was like, oh, wow. She has stories after story and she has no problem telling. I pray somebody need to just give her a microphone so she can do a podcast. And
Yeah.
it's like I know she would like to get paid for it,
Hmm.
but at least she would, have that outlet. And hopefully, I don't know how her mental health is. Maybe it would do good for her to really just talk about these things and do like that. Um, and have it to start off with her really just telling her story.
Right.
I'm excited for her with that. And also, Robin says by the time y'all got introduced to Wendy, she was way toned down. I started listening to her when she first hit the radio NYC pre Charlemagne. Here's the thing, Miss Robin. I was actually listening to those old recordings. People were like throwing them up on YouTube, and I know she started way before YouTube actually came into the picture,
Right.
but people were putting those recordings on there, and that's how I got to know Wendy with those people calling in and asking for advice. Just loving how she would always give advice. He's gay, honey. He's gay.
Okay. How you doing? Okay. She's looking out for the girls because she knows about these DL men
Yeah,
because she probably knows about the DL men because of her gay friends or whatever. So,
exactly. Robin says her interviews today were clearly part of her personal campaign to be freed from the conservatorship. And I believe that is certainly the case. Oh my gosh.
absolutely.
Because, the court of public opinion these days surprisingly sways people more than anything these days.
Britney
And
Spears. Okay.
I'm telling you, it's like, I believe it will help. And lastly, Robert says, "Do you know the true origin of her signature? How you doing?"
Well, I know I know initially what the only thing that I know of it is that it's her indication of someone possibly being part of the LGBTQIA plus community. If it's something other than that, then I don't know what it would be. Because I know that she kind of changed it, when she got onto the show and she kind of made it a more general thing. But on the radio, I know it was to indicate that someone might be gay.
You are right. Yeah, the people certainly did get Britney free. So
Yes, they did.
hopefully we can push for that. And I believe she's going to have more opportunities to be on the radio just to talk about the talk.
Right, exactly. So next up, we have actor Jimon Hansu. He's saying that he's struggling financially to make a living despite over 2 decades in the film industry. And he is the actor. He's been in quite a few movies. So he's been in DC. He's been in Marvel. He played the Wizard in Shazam. He was in, I think, Guardians of the Galaxy, if I'm not mistaken. And so he's a very famous actor. He was nominated for a Golden Globe. I'm not sure if he's had any Academy Award nominations, but this seems to be the plight of some actors that, when you're not constantly working, you got to pay the bills somehow. And I feel for all of those actors and musicians, for that matter, whose way of making a living is based off of being able to get jobs in their field, and when that is not overly available for them, when that opportunity is not always open for them, then what do they do in the meantime? And so, but for someone like Jaman Hansu, who has been in so many highly publicized productions, it's surprising to me that someone like him would still be financially struggling. And it's so sad to me that he felt the need to make this statement in an interview, because saying that you're struggling, especially as a Black man. I know that he's not necessarily African American, but for a Black man to be able to make that statement, I think is very courageous, and I think it's probably very humbling for him as well to be able to say that out loud. And shout out to those who are great actors who can't find work. Shout out to those who are just actors in general who may not necessarily be the greatest of actors who cannot find work. It's a rough place out here. And for an actor like Jaman Hansu, who has a very distinct accent, I can imagine why it might be harder for him, even though he's such an acclaimed actor, to be able to find work. Now some might say, well, look at Idris Elba. Idris Elba can, he can do the English accent, and he can do an American accent as well. So it is what it is. But I hope that Jaman Hansu is able to find more work so that he doesn't have to make statements like this, because this is just sad to me. But I would not personally want to be an actor or a musician, because worrying about how I'm going to eat or how I'm going to pay my bills, I can't imagine the stress that comes along with having to deal with that. Jennifer, what were your thoughts when you heard this, or if you even heard it?
I certainly have, and I will have to say, Jonathan, I think that I will have to go with Funky Dineva's opinion on this,
Hmm.
because when I first heard it originally, I did not feel the pit of sadness come up on me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um, I know that the life of the business is not exactly the most lucrative or most
it's not.
steady, and um, one thing I like that Funky Don even said, he said maybe you shouldn't have, rent that's over, or mortgage that's $20,000. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe we should, maybe we should, pare things down, not have so many cars and stuff, and maybe use our money as wisely as possible,
Right.
knowing that not a whole lot of work is coming in and through. So it's not to come against what he's saying.
Hmm.
I never, I wasn't thinking that he was poor, destitute, and in a two-bedroom condo trying to work it out.
Right.
I personally believe that maybe the lifestyle that he believes he deserves
Hmm.
is not available unto him,
Right.
and him scratching and surviving to have that lifestyle is making him upset. That's what I think that is.
Yeah, that would definitely make sense to me. And a lot of times when you get these big movies and you be like, "Oh, I'm moving on up like a Jefferson's, honey, so I can buy this and I can buy that." And we hear about all these, especially new artists who come out and they spend all of their money at one time, or they spend a whole lot of money at one time. And so by the time it gets to their second album and their second album doesn't do good, they're broke. And it's you have to get better with your money. And I think that these industries should have financial advisors appointed to these people to help them with their money, much like they do in the military. to be able to help these people so that they don't end up in the unemployment line. But you know, I definitely understand where you and Funky Dineva are coming from. It's a very valid point that was made. So it is what it is. I feel like the
But you
biggest.
know, Jonathan.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go
Uh,
ahead.
I was just gonna say that the craziest thing is is that if you have a lot of money, I don't think nobody's telling anybody to get a financial advisor.
Right.
How to
You're right.
invest, how to make this money long, because who wants to live paycheck to paycheck? Though those paychecks may be, $20,000, $50,000 per paycheck, who wants to try to figure out where's the next paycheck coming and try to live off $50,000? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't feel right. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah. So sometime last week, Jim Jones did the rapper Jim Jones did an interview saying that, Cameron and Mace, they're not friends. Mace done did Cameron wrong so many times that, this and that, and, trying to say that, maybe their friendship might be fake or whatever the case might be. Jim Jones just talking out the side of his neck. Not necessarily sure how close Jim Jones is or was to Cameron, like officially, like how close they were, even though they were both in Dipset. Not exactly sure how close he was to Cameron to understand the friendship or relationship between Mace and Cameron. So Cameron came back during his podcast. And you know what Mace was doing during while Cameron was speaking, Jennifer? He was
Child, he had that popcorn. He had a whole
he
regal
he
bucket of popcorn.
he
I loved it.
had the popcorn, girl. Like, oh my gosh, like that was a read in itself. Like to me, like that was a read in itself. And Cameron was like, "Nigga, you was a fan. You was a fan. Like, yes, we let you come around because we was being nice to you, my nigga. Yes, you opened your house to me because you were being nice, my nigga. Like, it is what it is." And then he later said that Mace taught Jim Jones how to rap and then proceeded to play 3 to 4 clips of Jim Jones confirming that Mace was the person that taught him how to rap. And here's the thing, I never really thought one way or another about Jim Jones, although I did enjoy seeing both him and his girl Chrissy on Love and Hip Hop New York. I never really thought, one way or another about Jim Jones, but I'm so glad that Cameron came out. And I don't know if Jim Jones did not think that Cameron was going to say anything. I don't know if Jim Jones did this so that he could get a couple clicks and a couple views. Because if Cameron's going to run his mouth. Cameron is on a podcast. You know how Mace will talk about any and everything he feels the need to talk about. Jim Jones lost this one, and I don't know if he cares whether he lost it or not, because Mace was just eating up that popcorn, honey, and I was living for
Not
it.
only eating it up, but kikiing something serious. Jonathan, I need to ask you, first of all, before we dig into the process, dig into what was being said and stuff like that.
Right.
I need to ask you, looking at this, does it encourage you to, at the very least, look at a couple of other clips of them two?
Yes.
Jonathan,
Absolutely.
they are freaking hilarious.
Yes. And it makes sense. Like just Mace eating the popcorn during that podcast